We live in the age of noise. Everywhere you look, people are broadcasting. They're tweeting their opinions, screaming in comment sections, and filling every empty second of conversation with nervous chatter. They believe that to be heard, they must be loud. They believe that to win an argument, they must have the last word. They are wrong. This is a lie designed to keep you weak. Power is not found in volume. Power is found in the void. Look at the hierarchy of any room. The nervous intern speaks rapidly, explaining, justifying, and apologizing. He is terrified of the silence. The CEO sits back. He listens. He reveals nothing. And when he finally speaks, the room freezes to hear him. Louis XIV, the Sun King, understood this better than anyone. When his courtiers would bring him urgent news, gossip, or desperate requests for favors, he would not argue. He would not ask questions. He would listen in total, terrifying silence. He would look them in the eye, hold the tension until they began to sweat, and simply say, "I shall see." Then he would walk away. This silence kept his enemies off balance. It made them project their own fears into the gap he left behind. By saying nothing, he controlled everything. In this dossier, we will master Law 4 of the 48 Laws of Power. We will analyze the neuroscience of why silence triggers anxiety in your opponents. We will deconstruct the Edison technique for negotiation, and we will teach you how to use the pregnant pause to destroy an argument without uttering a syllable. Words are like currency. The more you print, the less they are worth. This is the law of economy. If you are constantly speaking, your words suffer from inflation. When you explain yourself, you dilute your power. When you justify your actions, you open yourself to attack. Let us look at a historical example of this law in action. Thomas Edison. When Edison invented an improved version of the stock ticker, he wanted to sell it to Western Union. He was desperate for money. In his mind, he decided he would accept $3,000 for the invention. But, he told himself, if he was lucky, he might ask for $5,000. He entered the meeting with the executives. They asked him, "How much do you want for it?" Edison opened his mouth to say $3,000, but the words stuck in his throat. He hesitated. He stayed silent. The silence stretched out. The executives grew uncomfortable. They looked at each other. They assumed his silence meant he was insulted by the idea of a low price. Finally, the lead executive broke the tension. "How about $40,000?
$40,000 in the 1870s is equivalent to nearly $1 million today. Edison made a fortune simply because he forgot to speak. If he had spoken, he would have anchored the price at $3,000. By staying silent, he allowed the other side to bid against themselves.
Consider the fool. The fool reveals his plans. The fool tells you exactly what he is thinking. Because he is an open book, he is easy to predict, and therefore easy to destroy. Now consider the master. The master is an iceberg. You only see the 10% he chooses to show you. The other 90% is submerged. Because you cannot see his true intentions, you cannot form a strategy against him. But why is silence so painful? Why do humans rush to fill a lull in conversation with awkward jokes, weather talk, or nervous laughter? It is because of a biological mechanism called social homeostasis. We are tribal animals. For our ancestors, connection meant survival. Conversation is the glue that signals we are okay. It signals safety. When conversation stops abruptly, the primitive brain signals danger. It signals rejection. It signals that the tribe is judging you. When you fall silent in the middle of an interaction, you trigger the other person's amygdala. You create a void. Nature abhors a vacuum. The other person's brain will desperately try to fill that vacuum to return to safety. This is where the Zeigarnik effect comes into play. The Zeigarnik effect states that the human mind hates open loops. It remembers uncompleted tasks better than completed ones. Silence is an open loop. It is a sentence without a period. It forces the other person to obsess over what you are thinking. Is he angry? Did I say something wrong? Does he know the truth? In a negotiation or an argument, if you simply stop speaking and maintain eye contact, the other person will start to bid against themselves. They will assume you are unhappy. They will start revealing information they meant to keep hidden just to break the tension. They are not fighting you, they are fighting the void, and the void always wins. Let's move from theory to the real world. How do you weaponize this? Chris Voss, the former lead international kidnapping negotiator for the FBI, used silence to save lives. He calls it the effective pause. In high-stakes negotiations, talkative negotiators lose. They give away leverage. The goal is to get the other side to talk. The more they talk, the more information they reveal. Here is a specific protocol for your next salary negotiation or business deal. Step 1. The anchor. The other party makes an offer. Let's say it is low. We can offer you $50,000. Step 2. The flinch. Do not speak, just react visually. A slight frown, a look of confusion, then silence. Count to 4 in your head. It will feel like an eternity. Your instinct will scream at you to say, "Okay, thanks," or "Is that the best you can do?" Suppress that instinct. Look them in the eye. Step 3. The mirror. If they don't break, use a mirror with an upward inflection. $50,000? Then silence again. By repeating their number and then shutting up, you are implicitly asking, "Are you serious?" without being aggressive. The other person will feel the urge to explain themselves. "Well, that's the base, but maybe we can look at a signing bonus." They are negotiating with themselves. You haven't made a single demand yet. You are simply holding the mirror. This law extends beyond business. It is the foundation of seduction and social dominance. In the 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene describes the coquette and the charismatic. What do they have in common? Mystery. In the modern world, people overshare. They post their breakfast, their workouts, their breakups, and their political opinions. They leave nothing to the imagination. They are consumable. Once you are fully consumed, you are discarded. To be seductive, you must be a puzzle. When you're on a date, listen 80% of the time. Speak 20% of the time. When asked about your past, give short, vague answers. "I've moved around a lot." Then change the subject back to them. This creates a gravitational pull. People are narcissists. They love talking about themselves. If you let them talk and you simply observe with a slight smile, they will leave the date thinking you are the most fascinating person they have ever met. Why? Because they projected their fantasies onto your blank canvas. You gave them a screen and they watched their own movie. In arguments, silence is the ultimate shield. When someone insults you, they are looking for a reaction. They want fuel. If you get angry, they win. If you defend yourself, they win. Instead, use the stare. Look them in the eye. Hold it for 3 seconds. Say nothing. Then turn your attention to something else. You have just signaled, "You do not exist to me." There is no insult more destroying than indifference. We cannot discuss silence without discussing the digital realm. We're under constant surveillance, not just by algorithms, but by our peers. The fool posts his every move. "I'm going to the gym. I'm working on a new project. I'm feeling sad."
Sun Tzu said, "Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt." How can your plans be dark if you post them on your story? Real power moves in silence. Stop announcing your goals. The dopamine hit you get from telling people you are going to start a business actually reduces your motivation to do the work. The brain feels it has already achieved the social reward.
Go ghost mode. Disappear for 6 months. Do the work in the dark. Let the results be the only noise you make. When you reappear with the finished product, the shock value will be twice as high because nobody saw it coming. In a world of constant signaling, privacy is the ultimate luxury. The Stoics believed that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Words can get you into trouble, but silence rarely does. Once the words leave your mouth, you are their slave, but as long as you hold them in, you are their master.
The next time you feel the urge to fill the silence, the next time your ego screams at you to correct someone, the next time you want to post your plans for the world to see, stop. Swallow the words. Let them sit in your stomach. Feel the power building up inside you.
Subscribe to Umbra Decode. We do not speak often, but when we do, we tell you the truth.